Yes, you made it through that whole thing. So now I'm back. Hey, everybody, here on YouTube and on Rockfin, although I don't even know if it's working. I got COVID. You want me to tell you about it? I guess I don't know if we'll ever know for sure, but I'll explain the situation. So, yeah, I was missing, and this show may not be adequately prepared, which is why we will be taking phone calls so that we can get your input, which is free material for me. So it's Friday. There are spy balloons everywhere. Apparently, I have breaking news right now that there's another spy balloon has just been spotted over another part of America, this being Latin America. So I have that update right here. So people are curious about these Chinese spy balloons. This is from 19 minutes ago on Gab, but I'm sure it's also on Twitter. Another Chinese spy balloon over Latin America. And I believe they said that the spy balloon that's over America right now drifted off course officially. And people are demanding answers. Like Josh Hawley wrote a letter demanding answers to what Biden is doing, why we haven't shot it down, etc. There are some memes about it. I have people. Let me see what the latest news is, and then I'll get you guys up to speed on what's been going on. Sorry, I've been missing from my channel. And if you're listening to the podcast, especially, you haven't gotten a podcast for a while, I did a number of Twitter spaces. So make sure you're following me on Twitter. I might do more Twitter spaces because it's kind of like a hack. I'm able to get people tuned in there. So even though it's not perfect and the audio is not great, and it is an interesting format. So do follow me there, and I might be hosting more of those. So that was one of the things that happened is I hosted some Twitter spaces about this Eliza Blue situation, which were interesting, and which some people showed up to, like Viva Frey and that umbrella man, that umbrella guy, I believe he is. And then the other people that have been reporting on the Eliza Blue situation, like Fair and Balanced and Chrissy Mayer, got to meet some new people throughout this whole situation. DeFango, we learned that DeFango was responsible for a lot of what we're seeing with the Eliza Blue thing, or at least he initiated a lot of it with a thread that he made on Twitter, showing the power of a Twitter account, even without a lot of followers. I think he had about 1,000 followers, and he made a thread about Eliza Blue. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm not sure, but I know at least some of the reason for people attacking Eliza Blue has to do with the fact that they support Andrew Tate. So it did end up going back to that situation. So she came out, she went on Timcast. Do you guys know who she is? You guys? I had DeFango on before any of the censorship stuff to talk about it. And then I didn't know for sure if people really cared about this person because she is kind of famous on Twitter. And then the other thing is it's not really cool, or it's not as cool for a guy to attack a female person, a female individual, and say that she's not being honest about something. It's much more convenient when criticism comes from another female. And everybody loves to see that anyway. Everybody loves to see a good cat fight, cat fight. So when Brittany Venti got on board, that was really cool. And well, then she got censored, and then it became a big story and everybody cared about it. But as a matter of fact, like if you're keeping score, and I try to keep score, is DeFango was guest on a show, period. The first show he was asked to be a guest on to talk about this situation with Eliza Blue was actually this particular show here. So you guys were actually ahead of the curve as far as all that stuff goes. And then DeFango ended up joining me on Twitter Spaces, and then some of those other people joined in, and that became kind of a thing. So anyway, we're back. We're on YouTube. We have the news about the balloons. We'll try to give you the latest, and then we'll take phone calls. Oh, and I can tell you about COVID. You guys probably care, right? Like I'm unvaccinated. My wife's unvaccinated. As far as we know, we never had COVID before, although I thought my wife already did once and I didn't get it. This time, I'm pretty sure I got it, so I can explain how it's gone so far. I am a little, like I don't feel 100% really, right? So I'm going to need your help to get through this episode. So you're going to be able to help out, and you're going to get the news at the same time on this Lift the Veil show. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. My wife says that she didn't have COVID before and that it was just a cold. And that's maybe true. She didn't test positive for COVID. This time, because I know people are skeptical, this time she went to a conference and came back sick pretty soon after. And kind of like sick, like couldn't even like swallow right, couldn't speak really sick. And then got one of those COVID tests, took the COVID test, and the COVID test, we've taken them before and never came up with the 2 lines. And she took the test and it came up like immediately with the 2 lines. And then I was thinking, I hear it's pretty contagious, so I'll probably get it. And then I started to feel bad. I didn't bother testing because I figured it's a no-brainer and it doesn't matter anyway because I'm not going to do anything different because I test positive for COVID or whether I'm just sick, but I'm just assuming that I have COVID. Yes, I believe viruses exist. So we could have that debate, but thankfully that's not like a serious debate before. It used to be. It was really, if you remember back to the early days of COVID, people would be like, oh, it's fake. David Icke says. David Icke goes, it's a hoax. 7 million views. Still shouldn't have been censored, but I happen to disagree that it was a hoax. I happen to agree that it was a real virus. And because of that was punished in my social media standing. But then eventually most people came around. I was thinking about setting up a debate between people who believe it's not a real virus and people who do believe it's a real virus. But it's like, you can't find anybody there. There are people, like Jamie Deluxe and High Impact Flicks. I think they're on that train. And then I don't even know about Jaronism anymore. He used to be, but you can't find anybody actually serious. Like you can't find a doctor or anything who, besides that one idiot Kaufman, who says that it's not real. So it's not really a debate. It's not really a debate. It's not a debate between experts, at least. There aren't any experts who say that it's not a real virus. So I believe that it is. But I take vitamin D. I took zinc. I got a fever. I had a fever, not real high. It chills. And I've been in bed for like the last couple of days, feeling like pretty bad. I still feel pretty bad. Like it's taking effort to do the show and stuff. I don't feel 100%, but I'm trying to get through it. I can give you the, so that's the news on it. I took zinc. I took vitamin D. I took vitamin C. And then Tylenol seems to make me feel better, but that's about it. I know the tests are mostly garbage, but my wife lost her sense of taste and smell. She's really sick. That's what they say the symptoms are of COVID. So, and she went to a conference, right? She happened to go to a conference, was around a lot of people. Apparently it's going around right now. So that's the story. That's the official story. So, but good news is I didn't get hit that bad, because people are talking about being sick for 5 or 10 days or something. And I'm feeling a lot better today. And I've only been down for a couple of days. So, and I never got sore throat or a cough. A little phlegm comes up once in a while, but I never got a bad cough or sore throat. And I still have my sense of taste and smell, unlike my wife, who lost hers right now and is still pretty sick and had to be off work and stuff. So anyway, here's the latest. Let me see if there's anybody else and I'm probably still making enemies by saying that we got COVID, because I still see people out there. Oh no, they're just trying to hide the real truth, which is that there is no virus, but there's not one serious person. Like, there's not an expert who says that, right? None of the doctors that are anti-vax say that it's not a real virus. Even Steve Kirsch, who's kind of a wild conspiracy theorist, pushes back against the people who say there's no virus, but that will persist for a long time, I suppose. It's just fantasy. Germ theory is just a fantasy and so forth, but that's life. You can't always be popular. So anyway, that's the news on that. If you want to support the grift on this show, I was just going to show you this. This is something Mr. Beast said today. He says, YouTube just started splitting shorts revenue with creators, and Twitter is now sharing revenue below tweets with creators. Never been a better time to get into making content, he says. So I make my video for today. From what I understand, people are making videos. I don't know, the Quartering and Tim Pool, like all these people, they make videos which I guess are actually monetized. And I don't know for sure. I have YouTube Premium, so I don't see ads anyway. But you might notice my videos, I don't need, it used to be that I had to open my mouth before they demonetized me. Now they just demonetized me based on whatever, like the title for this show, it was demonetized. So I don't know. I wouldn't advise anybody to be a content creator, because it's just an awful experience all around, from getting censored, from getting demonetized, getting shadow banned. But I guess if you talk about the right things in the right way, then it can be a rewarding experience. But you can make it a more rewarding experience by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, and you can become a member. And if you become a member, I'll give you a code for a t-shirt. So you have to email me though to ask me for it. So you email me at lifttheveil401@gmail.com. But if you go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, go to memberships and become a member. It's only $7 a month or more if you feel like it. That's how you can support the show, because otherwise, as a matter of fact, we're pretty demonetized. We also sell t-shirts, which I don't promote nearly enough. So check out our t-shirts at truthclothing.io. That's our website, truthclothing.io. And then, let me show you. I'll promote the Nassim shirt today. We have shirts that are made in America, which are truly anti-establishment. And they're really nice shirts. So I haven't really promoted them enough. Check out the Nassim t-shirt. Those are made in the United States of America with cotton grown in American fields, which to get stuff like that is serious. So check that out. Check out our Nassim shirts. Check out our Question Everything shirts. Propaganda. That's at truthclothing.io. You need clothes. It's true. You need clothes. But better to have a subscription business. I might sign up with what's his name? The Quarterings coffee brand coffee grift. Because it's good to get people on recurring payments. That's the way grifters really do it. You have to have something you order all the time, like vitamins or nutraceuticals, etc. So I'm working on it. I'm still working on my grift. I haven't perfected it yet, but you guys can help me out with it. Let me just show you. I'll just show you this video, even though it's 13 minutes long. The Chinese spy balloon has now been spotted over Missouri. So people are telling me about this video from Dutch Sense. So let me show you that. The balloon has been spotted somewhere new, and we're not shooting it down. Oh, and another one has been spotted, allegedly. So let's see what this says.
Hello, everybody. It's 4:42 p.m. Central Time on the 3rd of February, 2023. It's Friday here in the United States, and I just got a short update for you here. I'm going to turn on a display capture and show you what's on my local news here. St. Louis. Chinese spy balloon spotted flying over Missouri. Okay, now look, I'm just going to say it. There's something seriously wrong, and I don't know what's going on, other than to tell you, now the balloon's over Missouri, whereas before, earlier today, it was over Montana. And unless the balloon is moving at just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles per hour for it to get from Montana down to here in Missouri all of a sudden, I'm just going to say, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. So here's my local news, KSDK News, which is NBC News here in St. Louis covering it. I could play it. I don't know. Again, I haven't played this. I'll just turn off the, check it out. They're running commercials on it, so, But they're urging the governor to activate the Air National Guard. I would shoot it down, personally. That's what I would do. Definitely when it's an unknown object. It could be filled with some kind of toxic gas or something. First thing we should probably do is just shoot it down. All right, that's probably the best thing. The other thing that we could possibly do is to retrieve it. That would be something that would be worth doing with an aircraft or some kind of helicopter or drone to retrieve the balloon or to observe it at some altitude.
Okay, I was going to say, as far as a helicopter, I don't think it's at 60,000 feet. We don't have that many aircraft. Now, I'm not an expert on aircraft, but we don't have that many aircraft that can even go up that high, and certainly a helicopter can't. The things that go that high are few and far between, so it's not necessarily that easy, which is why I guess we don't have like footage from close up of the thing right now. It's flying at twice the height of commercial aircraft at around 60,000 feet. So it's pretty hard to shoot down. Not even sure if some of the more advanced anti-aircraft equipment can take out something at such a high altitude. And that was the deal with spy planes back in the day. So we had a spy plane that flew over the USSR back in the day. That was a big story. We had a spy plane that was flying over the USSR to keep track of their nuclear missile program back during the Cold War. What was the guy's name? Gary Powers? Am I saying it right? Was it Gary Powers? Yeah. Gary Powers. Francis Gary Powers, apparently. He was shot down flying a U-2. And the thing about the U-2 is they thought that it flew high enough that it couldn't possibly be shot down, basically. So they thought they had been running these flights for a while. And I think maybe the USSR even knew about them, but they didn't have the capability to shoot it down. So it would take some capabilities just to go up there and shoot this thing out of the sky, just because of how high it actually is. So, and then there could be debris, but you'd think they could pick a fairly unpopulated area to shoot it down over, rather than shooting it down somewhere where there would be a debris field going out over human beings. Here, I'll play more of this. But I don't know what the right thing is to do. It is weird just letting it do its thing. We know it's there, and we're just allowing it to proceed. So that is a little weird.
Using remote observing capability, such as cameras. Anyway, it's over Missouri now, huh? Something doesn't smell right about all this, guys. This whole thing doesn't pass the smell test. Now, I'm going to tell you something really quick here. We're going to go over to YouTube, and I'm going to turn on a display capture. You can already see it. Good. We're going to go over to MonkeyWorks. I'm just going to tell everybody, you should probably check out MonkeyWorks' channel, since he's probably the only person on YouTube that actually would cover this stuff. But here we go, and Chinese balloon over the United States. But in his update, I want to say this one? No. This one. 3 days ago. Let's see if I can find it. Now, I'm not looking to step all over MonkeyWorks or anything, guys. You guys come over and check his site, check his updates, and get up to date on the flyovers and so forth that are happening. But I do recall him talking about a few odd balloons that were in the air over the United States. I don't know exactly where it was in the update, though. So let's just go to...
All right. Well, if he didn't know where it was. So anyway, I thought I'd play some of that. Somebody mentioned that video. So the spy balloon is over a new part of the United States. I don't know how far we're talking about between where it was and where it is, and whether it's possible that it could have traveled that far. But I guess the implication is that there might be more than one balloon. And now there's an announcement of another balloon over Latin America. So let's see, Chinese balloon, Latin. The latest second airship spotted over Latin America as Pentagon reviews options. Here, I'll show you the headline. Chinese spy balloon live, second airship spotted over Latin America as Pentagon reviews options. Pentagon official rejected Chinese claims after the intelligence. Pentagon official rejected Chinese claims. Let's see.
Information to provide other than to say that the North American Aerospace Defense Command continues to monitor it closely. While we won't get into specifics in regards to the exact location, I can tell you that the balloon continues to move eastward and is currently over the center of the continental United States. Again, we currently assess that the balloon does not present a military or physical.
Bad video feed. Oops. Well, there you go. So they say it doesn't present a threat to us. They are taking pictures of stuff though this whole time, but I guess we don't care. They said we're doing things they flew over some nuclear area, like over Billings, Montana. Apparently there was some nuclear stuff that they were checking in on. So, which is kind of what we were doing back during the Cold War, but apparently we don't care. Looking at the updates on it. This Latin America one is pretty interesting. I wonder what part of Latin America. Somebody in my comments said Costa Rica. Pentagon Brigadier General Patrick Ryder said in a statement to CNN, quote, "We are seeing reports of a balloon transiting Latin America. We now assess it as another Chinese surveillance balloon." A Chinese surveillance balloon. Oh, other comments about this, other conspiracy theories about this, is that this proves that that satellites aren't real and that they're all balloons, and that the flat Earth is real. So I have that comment, and I saw that comment in my chat, which is that I think they call them satelloons. So they're saying that because this is what satellites actually are, is balloons. So this is a long time belief of flat earthers. I'm not sure why satellites can't exist in a flat earth, but apparently they can't. So yeah, the thing about satellites is satellites aren't real. They're just balloons, and that the rockets they launch and all that stuff. But the weird thing is you can see when Elon Musk does his spaceship launches. And I think I went to one of his launches, right, where he landed the rocket ship, just because I didn't believe it. And I'm near Space Force Base. Actually, it used to be an Air Force base. Now it's a Space Force base. So I've seen the launch. And then it left behind a trail of satellites that everybody could see in the sky and stuff. And satellites are higher than this balloon too. So, but anyway, people do say, like this one, no such thing as satellites in the way they have been presented. So that is definitely a conspiracy theory that's in the news today because of this balloon. So, and a lot of people are mentioning in the chat, says, correct, no satellites. It's all a big story. And then there was also the fake, remember the boy that supposedly got stuck in the balloon? Do you remember that story, the hoax, the balloon hoax, where a boy supposedly was stuck in a balloon that got carried away, and then it turned out not to be real? So lots of stories about balloon hoaxes. So I think that's about the most I can say about it, though, is there are Chinese balloons, and they are spying. We are probably also spying in different ways. We seem to be okay with the Chinese spying. Don't know why they're doing it. No idea. So anyway, that's the news on that. Okay. And then, let me give you this news about the shots. This is pretty unbelievable in regards to the, she says that has nothing to do with the shots, but this MSNBC anchor got pericarditis and myocarditis and says it was because she got a cold. Did you guys see this? And then I'll give you the latest update on Eliza Blue for people who care about that. She's getting people banned or trying to. This is a pretty stunning update from MSNBC from one of their news anchors where they came down with a heart condition. I'll play it for you.
Well, I have been dealing with a little bit of a health scare. On December 20th, I began to feel chest pains, and they waxed and waned over a period of 10 days. I wasn't quite sure what to make of it, but as they continued to get worse, I started to think something was actually wrong. It was December 30th when I finally went to an urgent care and was told I had reflux. I didn't really buy it, but I was relieved it wasn't my heart. My body, though, was pretty certain not to believe the reflux. The next day, on December 30th, I woke up with severe pains both in my chest and in my left shoulder, and it was like a tightening in my chest when I took deep breaths. That got worse when I was laying flat. I knew enough at that moment to understand that it could mean, could is the key word here, that I was having a heart attack, especially because it was happening in the left part of my shoulder. I want to remind you, I run 7 miles 3 to 4 times a week, or I did. I do yoga. I don't eat meat. I don't smoke. I drink occasionally, not right now, though, because my doctor tells me I can't. Aside from probably not getting enough sleep and working too much, I'm a pretty healthy person. But on that day, I was anything but. My husband drove me to the emergency room, and from there, the nightmare that has been my January began. I was diagnosed with pericarditis, inflammation of the lining of my heart, brought on by a virus, a literal common cold. I also had fluid around my heart that had to be drained, or else it could hinder the beating of my heart. I was hospitalized for 4 nights and transferred from a local hospital to NYU Langone here in New York City. On January 4th, I was finally discharged after doctors drained the fluid around my heart, and I bounced out of the hospital. I couldn't get out of there fast enough with the hopes I was on the mend. But that was not the end. 3 days later, I was readmitted when I felt a flutter in my heart, like a butterfly. It was inside my chest. They determined I had developed myocarditis, inflammation of the actual heart now, the heart muscle. I remember being shepherded through the emergency room and wondering, is this it? It wasn't, thank God. Instead, I spent 5 more days in the hospital where they ran a battery of tests, adjusted my meds, and made sure nothing else was fueling what was happening. And in fact, in the end, it was still just the cold that was doing all of this, that had caused all of this inflammation in and around my heart.
Wow. It's just so stunning, right? So people are calling her out for it. But there you go. That's the news you get on MSNBC is she gets something that is you're not allowed to say, especially on YouTube, anything that's not a recognized side effect of the COVID vax. But it is a recognized side effect that some people get myocarditis or pericarditis. Usually it's young men, not middle-aged women, but doesn't matter. It is certainly possible. So who knows what her proximity to the booster was and stuff. So there you go. She got it from a common cold. When have you ever heard that before? She got it from a common cold. So yeah, it's clown world for sure. All right. So you guys want the latest on Eliza Blue? Eliza Blue, what is the latest? She's giving people privacy strikes. She somehow DeFango got banned from Twitter. So people have a problem with that. A lot of people are canceling their Twitter Blue. Which coincidentally, Elon Musk just said that they're going to roll out a new feature only for people who have Twitter Blue, where they share ad revenue with tweet creators. So this is a little bit about what Mr. Beast was saying was so great. So they are planning to share ad revenue with tweeters as long as they're paying for Twitter Blue. So I've canceled my Twitter Blue. I think I still have it for a few more days, but I canceled it not because of the Eliza Blue situation, but I would have because of that situation. Now, who knows? If I find out that not having Twitter Blue is detrimental to me and my account in some way, then it's possible I'll sign up for it again. I mean, I'm not necessarily always that principled, but I didn't see the point in having it, and I didn't see the benefits necessarily from having it. But this is interesting. It wouldn't do anything I'm sure I wouldn't make enough money in ad revenue to pay for the $8 a month. But it is an interesting new thing. And I think Twitter is going to be open for more monetization soon. And they have been talking about that, is that Twitter is going to monetize things more shortly. So, which I expect when they do that, then I expect that Twitter Spaces will become something more people get involved in if they are able to be monetized for it. I think one reason people don't do it more is because there is no monetization for it. But there you go. Twitter ad revenue for creators who pay for Twitter Blue. So, like I said, I don't get enough. I wonder how much it pays. I guess I wonder how much it pays. And if they're going to censor you anyway, or if you can get your account deleted anyway, the way DeFango got his account deleted. So yeah, a lot of people are objecting philosophically to Twitter Blue and canceling their Twitter Blues because of what Twitter has done with the Brittany Venti, the Quartering, DeFango, then some other creators. But this might bring people back. I don't know. So as far as the Eliza Blue thing goes, well, there are a lot of different stories about it. First of all, Tim Pool had on Eliza Blue and then just ignored the whole story, basically. Just ignored the whole story as it developed, even with the censorship of Brittany Venti and stuff, even with people questioning whether this person was telling the truth about being trafficked. Then Tim Pool said they're going to have the exclusive interview with her, which I believe they had already set up in advance, which was not related to the drama that was going on. It wasn't a response to the story, but something to do with Human Trafficking Month. So that article is still yet to come. Apparently, it might be a good article. Eliza wrote about it on her Twitter and says that she's being asked a lot of hard questions. So they might have something on her. The only thing is the Daily Beast already came out with an article and already called her out as basically being a prostitute. And this is what people were saying in my Twitter Spaces, but I kept feeling like I had to challenge them. People kept saying, oh, well, she's a prostitute. And she admitted to being a prostitute. And I was like, oh, did you really admit to being a prostitute? But in this article from the Daily Beast, they interviewed one of her friends who said that Eliza Blue asked her to be a prostitute with her, to join her as an escort. So this says around 2016, Wenzel claims that Blue asked her to join her as an escort, promising that Wenzel could make $500 at a night, an offer that stunned Wenzel and her husband. Quote, she was absolutely loving it. She was bragging about it, saying she was making so much money, unquote. Blue later suggested that sex workers with a pimp might qualify as trafficking victims. Though Wenzel said she didn't meet any pimp or trafficker when she socialized with Blue, be it an unnamed high-profile athlete or otherwise. So anyway, this article, they interview her friends who say that they think she was lying. So, and she's continuing to attack anybody who makes videos about her or shares content about her, hitting them with privacy violations, and somehow weaponize Twitter trust and safety to go after people. Although I think it's over. I think the censorship with Twitter is over because everybody's talking about Eliza Blue without being punished or censored anymore at this point. So, but yeah, lots of news on that. Maybe I'll see. I might host, I might do some more Twitter spaces. We'll see, where people can get together and talk about it. One of the guys who was a co-host on my space got fired from his job. They said it was for a different reason, but it happened in close proximity to one of these spaces that I hosted. So that was pretty bad. And he has a YouTube channel, so I'm going to get him on the show to talk about it. And we can cover the issue a little bit more. So, all right, let me see. I'll open up the phone. I made it this far. I'll open up the phone. Let me see if anybody left me a coffee. This show functions with your support through memberships or coffees. So I appreciate everybody who does that. And I'll open the phone so people can call in. Laura is now a member. Thank you, Laura. Says, glad to support you. Much success. Thanks, Laura. Appreciate it. Alexis Severing bought a coffee. Says, I've been a fan since 2018 when I was listening to interview Vegan Mikey from my home in Portland, Oregon. Vegan Mikey. Yes, exactly. Like, I'm familiar with controversial guests whose allegations are questioned for sure because of Vegan Mikey. Alexis got another coffee. Says, thank you for your coverage of the vaccine genocide. I work in healthcare with a religious exemption, and we have had multiple patients die on clinic property immediately after being jabbed. Ooh, holy cow. I'd like to say that the WHO and local health authorities have confirmed that the COVID vaccines are safe and effective. They slow the spread and they keep you from going to the hospital and dying. So I don't believe what you said about those patients, but thank you for the coffee. I appreciate it. Rip the Veil got 3 coffees. Says, I started watching Crypto Banter on YouTube only because he plugged himself while co-hosting Mario Nawfal's space. It's like how in digital marketing, you have your upper funnel that drives to the lower funnel. The more relevant and useful the plug, the better it works. However, you can't forget your core community is the niche that drives everything. These are people that want to know about what Nathan thinks is important, including Eliza Blue or whatever else. Thanks for the spaces. Also, never tipped extra for the calls you did last week. Hope you recover fast from being sick. Thanks, Rip the Veil. And thanks, Basil and Cyrus said, good summary video on Eliza Blue. And then, yeah, I posted a video about it right before I went down with sickness. MFC Systems bought a coffee, says, please consider both propaganda and question everything t-shirts and long sleeve, no hoodies for winter. I miss wearing my short sleeves these days. Thanks for your wicked surreal sense of black humor, Nate. Thank you, MFC Systems. And then I think these are old ones. All right. Thanks everybody who supports the show. I'll open up the phone. I'll open up the phone. People can call in. 650-GAY-TAXI is the number. Oh, let me put up the phone number let me put it up. It's a banner. I think I opened it up. Haven't taken phone calls for a while. This is going to be the first podcast I posted in a while. I'm sweating, kind of. It's not because the lights are hot or anything. I had the chills and stuff. I was just lying in bed, having like crazy dreams. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
So I just wanted to leave a couple comments about the supposed, Chinese spy balloon.
Yes.
And I've worked with balloons in the past, semi-professionally, not as a full-time job, but, I've had some firsthand experience. And, I guess from the statement that the Chinese put out, it was like a citizen research or some sort of citizen balloon. And, the thing about that is that you look at the payload and you look at the size of that balloon, it would probably cost anywhere from sorry, my dog. It would probably cost anywhere between 5 and 10 grand to launch something like that.
That's all it would cost, just $5,000 to $10,000.
Well, and it's really highly dependent on the payload. So
Right.
if there's some sort of highly specified technology that might cost $100,000, sure.
Right.
But as far as like a base rough cost, that's about what you're looking at.
Okay. What's your experience with balloons? You said you have experience with it. What do you mean? Like, what have you done with balloons?
So I've launched amateur research balloons, and both helium and hydrogen balloons. Some of them were circumnavigation balloons. They're nowhere near the size of this balloon. The ones I've had experience with are maybe in the diameter of around 10 feet. Where this thing, it looks like it's like a 30-foot diameter balloon. So, and the payloads that I've dealt with are fairly inexpensive. You say under $1,000. So, nothing really compared on the scale of this, but, at least it gives me a scope of what I'm looking at.
Right, right. Interesting. Well, so you say, so I'm sorry, what are the Chinese saying? The Chinese are saying that it was a civilian who sent it up, a Chinese civilian or something. Is that what they're saying?
That's what I saw, is that they came out and said that it was a civilian balloon, and it got, the winds took it off course, and they apologized for it entering U.S. airspace.
Yeah, nice, nice. Well, I guess it depends on what kind of technology they had on board, because it looked like they might have had some sophisticated rigged setup underneath. I mean, it looked like it was there for tracking stuff. So I wonder, that's an interesting story. I have news that it might have been shot down. There's an update of something being shot out of the sky in Montana. So I have video of that. But last we heard, it was over Missouri, not Montana. So,
well, yeah, and that's the other suspicious thing too, because it's like these balloons aren't traveling that fast. I mean,
right.
So it would then come to the conclusion is that, okay, well, was there a second balloon, or what really happened? And if one did get shot down and we actually got some information on the payload, that would be pretty interesting, because from the pictures that you can look at, and I've tried to look at the best ones I can, there, of course, at that altitude it's incredibly difficult to get a real good close-up picture, but it looks to be like a pretty good sized solar array on there. And so figure there's about 10 watts of power coming in. You can drive some pretty good sensors with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like it could be pretty sophisticated. So that's an interesting story that they're just saying it was civilian.
Well, yeah, and I guess that's really, what I was coming down to saying, is that, it very well could be some sort of civilian, research organization, but it definitely wasn't your average Joe Schmo, launching this out in a cornfield and something happened,
Right, right. It's more sophisticated than that based on your experience.
Yeah, exactly. So, I just wanted to call in and, say I'm a, fan, try and listen to you when I can.
Cool.
So, thanks for taking my call, man. Have a good night.
Thanks for the call. See ya. All right. Yeah, I have video of something being shot down over Montana. But that would be weird because apparently the balloon's been spotted over Missouri. So this happened right when my show started. This was posted at 5 p.m. my time, which is less than an hour ago. So here's video of apparently reports of an explosion in the sky over Montana. Let's see. There you can see. Can you see it? So there it is. It does look like something got shot down. What are people saying? So now people are saying there might be more than one balloon. But there's the video. You see it? Looks like it's going straight into that chimney. See, now it just looks like smoke coming out of a chimney. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Holy cow. Wow.
Not sure what that was, but there is a ton of
Wow. That's not like your average kind of like chemtrails either.
smoke on the plane.
Unless it is just some serious chemtrails.
All right.
Persistent, what do they call
In
them?
my neighborhood.
Persistent contrails. Well, that's more mystery to the whole situation. All right, I'll take some more calls. You can still support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can leave a note, and then you can also check out our t-shirts at truthclothing.io. I'll take some more calls. Hang in there for a minute. JJ Hempcrete Bear says it's just regular chemtrails. Could be. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan.
Hey, what's up?
I was reminded of a few things with all this balloon talk, and remember the Great American Eclipse, the NASA balloons that they released in the penumbra of the eclipse shadow?
No, I
They,
don't remember that.
they
This
were
was
putting
during the solar eclipse, you mean?
Yes, sir. They were putting viruses on the balloons to test how they would react, I guess, in those temperature gradients or something like that.
Huh. Okay.
So it followed the path. Yeah. I went to Tennessee to watch it, and they were doing one of them there. So that was just before the pandemic, of course, but I don't know if it was related. I guess it had to do with extremophils, like creatures that can exist in extreme environments or something like that.
Okay. Who launched the balloons? NASA?
I think so.
Yeah.
And it might have been spores or something. I can't quite recall the details. But anyway, I was reminded of that. And then I saw a story today also that the Pentagon had been releasing balloons for a while, 3 years back, and were testing all sorts of things. But then there were vehicles that they were tracking on the ground level. So who knows? I guess if it was a Chinese guy doing some weather stuff, there should be some corroborating evidence, like maybe he had stuff on the ground too, that would kind of validate that story. And then the other thing I thought of was that song 99 Red Balloons, because World War III started over shooting down 99 red balloons that showed up on a radar. And I don't know, I just found that kind of ironic that life is imitating art, and in a way.
Oh, okay. So I didn't even know. So that's what that song is about, is that
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, so that song is about somebody shooting down 99 red balloons and starting World War III?
Yeah, a little girl and her friend have 100 red balloons, or 99 perhaps, and they let them all loose, and it shows up on radar, and they're looking for any excuse they can to go to war. So they just immediately go crazy and launch missiles and stuff, and it causes retaliation. And then before you know it, the entire world is embroiled in war. And at the end of the song, her and her friend, I think there's just one balloon left.
Huh. Interesting. Oh, I did no idea what that song was about. So that's that's good.
And
thanks for letting me know. I learned something totally new today.
yeah, but anyway, I've been a fan for a long time, and I appreciate your work.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very well.
All right,
Shabbat Shalom.
All right. Thanks, man. Shabbat Shalom. See ya. Yeah, it is. It is after sunset on Friday, so I should be doing something Jewish, or I shouldn't be using technology probably. Right? Isn't it from sunset Friday night through sunset Saturday night? You can't turn on lights. I had some Jewish friends who had to who were supposed to stick to stuff like that. Like I can't remember if you could take an Uber, but you can't drive for sure. Can't drive, can't turn on lights. Pretty funny. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey Nathan, how's it going? Jim
Hey,
from Breedmore. How
hey
you doing?
Jim. What's up, Jim?
Not much, man. Sorry you guys aren't feeling well, dude.
That's all right. I am feeling better than I did yesterday, so hopefully that continues.
Yeah, man. There's a couple of stories I got. Well, once, I guess it was maybe in 2022, maybe 21. I choked on a protein keto drink, right? This Bolt House Farms and it went down in my lungs big time.
Okay.
And I was choking, and then it was like 2 weeks. I coughed and coughed and coughed, and I'm wondering if COVID somehow took advantage of the fact that I was choking my lungs out, because there was this point where tasting things was completely skewed, and every time I smelled, it was kind of like smelling cigarettes on acid, if you could know what that means.
I have done that before, but I can't remember exactly what it's like or tie it to your situation. But I can say I believe I have smelled cigarettes on acid, because people used to smoke back when I did acid. So I'm sure I was around it, but I can't remember the experience.
The acute, you can smell and taste the chemicals.
Yes.
In it, very acutely.
Yes.
And my sister had COVID, and right after her vax, maybe a couple months after her vax, and she, got the whole, the whole rigmarole, and so she lost her sense of taste and smell, and she hadn't gotten her sense of smell back right, and it's been, I think, couple of years now since that.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember hearing stories back when COVID first came out and there was no vaccine or anything, about people who lost their sense of taste and smell, and it was like for months or what have you. So that's terrible. My mom had an autoimmune disorder where she lost her sense of taste and smell, and it's like a really it's a really shitty thing to happen to you, because you don't realize, well, maybe people do realize, but it's easy not to think about like how terrible that is, that you just can't taste things anymore. So then it'd be like whether food tastes good or not just depends on whether it's sweet or bitter, and then the texture of the food, but you don't have regular taste, and it's easy to lose weight and stuff because you don't enjoy eating as much. So
yeah, I bet, man. It's got to be like eating up like some sort of like, I saw a movie where people were like, it was a science fiction movie. I'm sorry to never mind.
no, okay.
I'm a little stoned. So this movie, this couple goes to this real out of never mind.
Okay, all right, no problem. Didn't sound like it was going to be a crazy story.
Well, they can't in this town. They can't taste anything. Everything doesn't taste like anything at all.
Oh, really?
Which I thought was kind of interesting, but
yeah,
that's kind of the gist of what I was getting at.
Okay, that's cool.
But so this balloon, that's creepy, man. I don't know what, I don't know. What do you think?
What do I think? I don't know what to think. I don't know whether we should shoot it down, whether it doesn't matter. I mean, basically what they're saying, what the government is saying, is that it doesn't really matter that they have a spy balloon because they have spy satellites anyway. and there's only so much, like this thing can only do so much better than a satellite. So there's no huge difference in the kind of pictures they're getting from the balloon versus the pictures that they get from their space satellites, which already are spying on us all the time. So I don't know if it's really like, if it's actually dangerous, if it actually matters, and whether we should definitely shoot it down or not. I mean, I don't know. It's just it makes sense to me. They have satellites anyway that are taking pictures all the time. So what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, like, which state? What was it? That wasn't Montana, was it? That was the one where they shot down a balloon.
Montana is the one where I just showed the video where it looks like it looks like it could be something that got shot down, but it could just be chemtrails.
It could be, it could be anything. But like what was was Missouri? You said?
Yeah, the Dutch Sense was saying it was spotted over Missouri.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I get the M's mixed up. So I wonder if they put that there just to fuck with people.
What's that?
Because what do the Chinese want with Missouri anyway? I mean, are they scoping out a place to put a new what do you call it? One of those
chicken ranch or something? The Chinese should just buy, the Chinese should buy all the chicken farms in America and just control the egg supply.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this balloon or whether it matters, but it is interesting. It's got people talking. So it is interesting. This video, I'm showing it again on my screen, this video of the thing. It does look weird. It doesn't look like regular chemtrails because it's not very straight. Looks like something might have gotten blown out of the sky. I can't tell.
It looks like, because chemtrails typically don't look so vertical. It looks like it's going down, right?
Yeah, but it just depends. I mean, perspective gets weird around the horizon, so it makes it look like things are going straight up in the air when they're actually going horizontally. So, don't know.
Wasn't there a flame at the very tip of it, of that, where it was right at the beginning? Was it near the chimney? And it looked like there was a flame going down, right?
Couldn't tell, couldn't say for sure, Jim. Couldn't say for sure.
All right. Anyway, I'll let you go, man. On to the next call.
All right, cool. Thanks for the call, Jim.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, that's cool. All right, phone's still open. Thanks for calling in. Thanks, people who call into the show. That helps make it good. Rip the Veil is talking about. Yeah, we'll talk about hosting more Twitter Spaces, but make sure you follow me there. Twitter. I even left my wrong Twitter profile address in my last video. My Twitter profile is Lift the Veil 411, and it's under my real name. I'm a little confusing and not good at self-promotion, so I'm on Rumble, but I'm on Rumble as Nathan Stoltman. So people can't find me there, but it's also rumble.com/lift the veil. So you can find me that way. And then I'm at Twitter, twitter.com/lift the veil 411. And you can follow me there, but I'm there as Nathan Stoltman, even though I used to be Lift the Veil. I can't decide. I don't know how to do this whole internet thing perfectly. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Doing good, thanks.
Good. This is yeah, good to hear you. Good to see you online. You've been putting out some good content lately. I didn't catch your stream. I actually just popped on YouTube right now and saw you were live and figured I'd call in. What are you talking about tonight?
We were talking about the spy balloon. Who is this?
This is actually my name is Josh. I'm the guy who got butt rammed by Tony Podesta's brother in the basement of Comet Ping Pong.
That's right. You and I go way back.
Way back, brother.
Way back. Does that mean you actually watched my videos about Pizzagate back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Wow. We go way back. Wow. People don't even know.
Yeah, I've been with you longer than you've been with your wife.
Yeah, that's true, right? So you and I have have a lot of history together.
we've got a long history. Yeah, and it's not toxic.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool,
So,
man. Well,
yeah,
it shows.
strictly platonic. You know?
Yes.
Hey, so yeah, that Chinese spy balloon thing is weird. I'm curious, like a couple things, but one of them is like, not why does it matter, but like if we think that because there's two balloons over our country that the Chinese are getting like one, they have satellites all over, in space that have been getting photos of whatever they want. You know what I mean?
Allegedly, right? Yeah, that I agree that's
Yeah.
probably true.
For sure. I mean, just, I think there's satellites that, all over that get info what about all the, human asset infiltration? So I don't see I see the big deal with the balloons because we can actually see them. But if we didn't see them like satellites, right, it wouldn't be an issue.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what the government is saying. So, I mean, the government is saying that's why it's not a big deal because they're already spying on us. So,
yeah. So I guess like that is funny because I'm totally never want to be like in agreement or lockstep with the government.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
right.
Like, what do you think is going on with these things?
I honestly, I've no idea. Honestly, I really don't know. I mean, their civilian, their explanation of it. I haven't seen the explanation officially, but what people are saying is that the Chinese are saying it was one of their people who sent it up, but not the government. And I don't know. It looks like it might be kind of sophisticated with that rigging. It looks like it has underneath. So I don't know if that makes sense, but then again, I'm not sure if the Chinese government, is it reasonable to think that they would have done it thinking that they wouldn't have been caught? You know what I mean? Like,
first, absolutely. That's what leads to like, okay, what really like is the point of this whole balloon thing, right? Because I certainly don't think that the Chinese are using balloons to spy on, topography photos of United States. Like it seems stupid,
Right.
So I guess the question is like, how have they verified that these are Chinese? With like pretend the Chinese didn't admit to it. How did we verify they're Chinese? And then second, has anybody like somehow been up close to these either with a drone or I don't know, like is anybody able to get close to them for better like detailed photos?
That's the question I have. It's my understanding is that there aren't many aircraft that can get up to 60,000 feet. Like a normal aircraft can't fly that high, right? So they would have to use some kind of special aircraft just to get up. And I'm sure I doubt there are drones that can get up to 60,000 feet. So
yeah, I guess I didn't realize they were that high. So how were they even discovered to begin with?
Well, people could see them from the ground. People were seeing them from Billings, Montana. So they were seeing them with kind of regular cameras. I mean, they had, people were seeing them with pretty long zoom lenses, maybe 500 millimeters or something. But it wasn't like you couldn't see the things.
So that's kind of weird, right? Like you can see it with your eye, but you can't get there with a plane. I guess that sounds weird a little bit. I thought planes like eventually disappear from the sky, once they get to a certain like altitude. You know what I mean?
You can see stuff at pretty high altitude, when there aren't clouds in the sky because the sun glints off of it. So this particular thing, it was showing up as like a bright white object because of the sun reflecting off
the
of
foil or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you can see it at 60,000 feet in the air, this thing's got to be pretty fucking big.
They say it's the size of 3. I don't know why they don't just say what diameter it is. They say it's the size of 3 buses, whatever that means. So
yeah, it's probably about a size of
I don't know if that means
feet?
60 feet, 90 feet. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds big though. Sounds big and sophisticated.
Absolutely.
It sounds big and sophisticated for a civilian thing. So
yeah, absolutely. So again, I guess my question to you is like, what do you think is the situation with balloons? I haven't heard your opinion on it, and I'm curious what you think what you think the truth is here.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know.
I know. You've been really good lately at like staying in between, like, you know, the lies. Like you really have you've really been restraining yourself to venture into, you know, opinions because you think that it's going to get into conspiracy, but people like you for your opinions. You know what I mean?
I know, but I don't have one in this case. I mean, I really don't.
Yeah, but you've been saying that about a lot of things lately, though.
Well, maybe I'm trying to be Tim Pool or something. Maybe you're watching the molding of the next fence-sitting YouTube star.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm still with you.
Yeah, I've got to learn. I've learned that sitting on the fence is the most profitable thing you can do. So I have to sit on the fence. But I honestly don't know. I don't know anything about balloons. I don't know anything about what the Chinese are doing. I don't know why they'd want to do it. What
is your community saying? What is your community saying? What do they think? What are some different?
What are people saying? People have just been sharing. People are saying maybe it should have been shot down. Some people are saying it makes us look stupid that we have these balloons floating over us. We don't do anything about it. But that's about it.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, I'm going to let you go, man.
Okay,
hey,
cool.
You know, I always tell you, you're doing a great job.
Thanks, man.
You know, the quality of your audio and video has been so much better the last, you know, half year, whatever.
Cool.
You
Thanks,
made that
man.
change. You're being consistent, which is great. You know what I mean? And I really think you just keep grinding it out, and you know, you're going to grow organically, which is a lot different than some of these people that have been promoted by algorithm. You know what I mean? You're going to grow with an actual true community. And I think you just keep putting your nose to the grindstone. You're going to get through it and come out on the other side, you know, where you want to be. So.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words.
Absolutely. Take care, brother.
Thanks, man. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Just hard work, nose to the grindstone. That's what they say. They say if you work hard, eventually it works out. But there are systems in place that don't like certain people that make it more difficult. But it's true. We're trying to learn ways to hack the system. We hacked the system a little bit with Twitter Spaces. That's for sure. We definitely hacked the system that way because we're able to draw in some people that you're not able to draw in on the YouTube side. So we're going to have to try to continue maybe to work both angles. But thanks for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's been watching for a long time. I've been around since before being around was a thing. I'm a little old for a YouTuber. Even what's his name got burned out, didn't he? The Swede who had the biggest YouTube channel, but he basically quit, right? What's his name? PewDiePie. I followed PewDiePie to DLive, but that was such a scam. He did the scam move where he's like, I'm going to DLive, and he did like one live stream. Meanwhile, a bunch of us went to DLive, and then DLive ended up kicking everybody off the platform. But that's life. We're making it work with the tools that we have. I'm going to have a guest on the show coming up. You guys were the first. You guys got the Eliza Blue story here first, believe it or not, before it became a story, which is how it usually goes. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan. How's it going?
Pretty good, thanks.
Pretty good. Yeah, I didn't hear the whole live stream this time, but kind of hearing that there's a lot about that balloon discussion going on. It's like everything you see on Twitter right now is the balloon. So
Yeah, I know. That's what my show advisor was telling me. Oh, you got to talk about the balloon. I was like, really? I only have like 5 minutes of content on the balloon. It's not much of a story. Oh no, it's a big story. I was like, okay, well, we can talk about the balloon. What or do you have something else to talk about? We can talk about something else.
okay. Yeah, totally. I mean, I just feel like there is sort of a the fact that it's a Chinese balloon and it came from Canada and they're not really too concerned about it. I kind of feel like it's all part of just the demoralization propaganda or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, our government doesn't care. It's like, whatever. China owns us anyways. And, you know, it's just, I mean, just like January 6th and all this stuff. It's just like, your government doesn't really care about you. And we're like owned by someone else anyways that doesn't care about you. It kind of seems like that's sort of the message, you know?
I like that idea. Yeah, that's just to make us like totally demoralized and think that the government's not in control and that the Chinese can do whatever they want and walk all over us and nobody's going to do anything, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of,
like
that's
that.
just what it feels like. It's not
Mhm.
really even, it's just like, oh, look, we just like throw a balloon out there and then make you all feel
Mhm.
like your government doesn't care about you.
Mhm.
It kind of, I mean, that's just what most of, I mean, that's what, like, I mean, they did it with the Floyd riots. They did it with, you know, the dancing nurses. It's just like it's just everything that you kind of get is, but now this is something that's actually like regular people can see.
Right.
Whereas a lot of the other stuff was more like the media, like spinning it in a way or just like spoon feeding us the demoralization, you know?
Right. Right. Well, we have to be, it's true that we must constantly be demoralized. So I like that theory.
But yeah. Also, is Hoax Wars doing that his live stream like every week, or is it? I'm subscribed to his channel. But
Good question. I don't know. I've been out of it the last few days because I've been sick. He has been doing a live stream after my show, but I usually see him in the chat when he's going to do that, and I don't see him right now. He's very unpredictable. He's an unpredictable character, so I can't say for sure what he's up to. But he has been doing a live stream after this show. So.
Oh yeah, random. Yeah, I actually got in. I got in on the discussion when you were there a couple weeks ago or whatever. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Having the panel kind of style.
Yeah.
I was not there.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's he's got, you know, I like Hoax Wars. He's an interesting character. He's always, he's pretty insightful about different things. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just interesting. I mean, has the like Jim Bob thing died down at all? Are they like trolling you or anything?
Nobody's trolling me. Nope. Nobody's trolling me right now. So it's all good. Yep. I haven't even gotten any troll phone calls today.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that.
Yeah. So everything's going great.
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually was I may have got COVID. I don't know what it was, but I got it like, I guess it was in beginning of December. It just kind of came on like a headache but just like a fever, headache. And it is interesting because whatever Jim from Baltimore was saying about the spell, because I kind of had that happen.
You did. Yeah, I feel fortunate. I feel fortunate in that I didn't get it nearly as bad as Katie seems to have gotten it. So I didn't lose my sense of taste or smell yet. I just had a fever. I had chills. I've been in bed. I didn't want to get out of bed. I just kind of felt like shit. But today I'm starting to feel better, and that means I was only sick for a couple of days. So, and now I'm eating regular food and feel better. So.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't lose my taste or smell. It was just like this weird kind of perfumey smell. That it's just like it was weird. I don't know what it was. So it was. I mean, now I get like a whiff every once in a while. Kind of like I don't know. It seems weird. I mean, I didn't get the vax go anywhere near that or anything. But
right.
It's kind of strange. But anyway, just wanted to check in with you. Hey, what's
Yep.
up with that last dude? He was like from back in the day.
Yeah. He was a guy who used to call in. He had a thing where he'd call in. He's like, I got butt rammed by Tony Podesta in the basement of Comet Ping Pong. He used to call in and say that. And
that was just his like joke,
that was
like
just
how you
his
know
thing.
who he was.
Yes, that's how I know who he was.
Calling card.
Yep. And by the way, people in the chat are saying that Hoax Wars will be live tonight. So make sure to tune into that.
All right, on. Yeah, check it out. That's cool. Right on. We'll
Cool.
get glad to have you back, man.
Thank
Wonder
you.
Where you work.
Thank
Sweet.
you.
Well,
Appreciate it.
keep it going. Keep it up.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Peace.
Talk to you later. See ya. All right, cool. Elvis Kufurovich gave a super chat. Thanks for the super chat. $4.99, helping out the grift. Who says it's just a cover up. There is no satellites. There are balloons only. NASA launches hundreds balloons daily. Now there are a number of things wrong with that statement, and I don't mean the truthfulness of it, but the grammar and spelling leaves something to be desired. There are no satellites. You said there are balloons only. There are no satellites. NASA launches, and then balloons was incorrectly spelled too. But I appreciate the sentiment. I told you guys that the thing about this balloon is it proves the flat Earth. It proves the flat Earth. So that's one thing that sheeple don't understand. All right. I think I'm going to, let's see. Yeah, I did a good job. I think an hour and a half is a good length for a show. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for everybody who called in. I'll check to see if anybody dropped any more coffees while we've been going. You can leave those anytime or become a member at any time by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Spaldo, thanks, who says, shout out to chat. Friday night Hoax Wars pressure on. Okay, so I might appear on Hoax Wars. It's possible. I might appear on Hoax Wars. Thanks, Spaldo, for the 5 coffees. Parody Bear bought 3 coffees, said, never heard you mention your opinion on the Mandela effect. Well, the opinion is that it's, well, what can you say? People really experience it. That's all. And I've experienced it in relation to a few things. And there are some things that are just ridiculous, like Dolly in the James Bond movie not having braces. That one just doesn't make any sense at all. And then there are other ones where words change, names change, where I think they were, well, my recollection is that they were different. So people really do experience it, and they experience the same thing. And in some cases, it's just really, really bizarre where things don't make sense. And then there are some things like in the Bible, it's supposed to say wine into wineskins. And sometimes now it says wine into bottles, which doesn't make sense because it's wineskins that break if you put old wine into new wineskins or something like that. So there are some changes that don't make sense from the so-called Mandela effect. So yes, I believe that people really have memories that are different, and my memories are different about certain things. So, and I don't understand people who say, oh, it's not real, because obviously it's real because people experience it. You can't just deny that people experience it. But whether I'm not saying that CERN created a black hole that changed Forrest Gump. So he says life was like a box of chocolates, when I remember him saying life is like a box of chocolates. So I don't know. All right, cool. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate your support. And we will see you at the next one. Make sure you're following me the different places. And I appreciate everybody. And for now, that's what it is.